Good afternoon to all experts and students. My name is Yingtian Mei from Hainan University. The topic of my report today is purpose-driven disputation, modeling analysis, and resolution based on DIKW+P graphs. The main content is divided into 5 parts. The first part is research background. As AI servers are more and more widely used in all walks of life, there are more challenges and problems. The current scheme lacks effective combination of machine learning, subjective judgment information, expert knowledge, and wisdom strategy. When data is incomplete, information is insufficient, knowledge is incomplete, and wisdom strategies is unbalanced. AI has difficulty in dealing with missing semantic association, semantic impression, and semantic inconsistency. In addition, multidimensional, multimodal, and multi-scale data, information, knowledge, and wisdom in the network will form cognitive overload. But in more AI scenarios, the semantic content is often a mixture of subjective and objective. In big data and cloud computing, unstructured data such as text type is prevalent, but not fully unlock its values. In AI, there are an interpretability problem by not understanding the true meaning of natural language utterance. In logic graph, semantic representation is limited, and a better organization of resources is needed to express rich semantics. Since 2013, all judicial institutions at all levels has entered a period of smart justice construction for the purpose of providing intelligent judicial service. 2014. The Supreme People's Court put into trial operation a centralized data management platform for the People Court. 2016, the construction of smart court was included as a national information development structures. 2017, the national AI structures development plan for a new generation of AI made a forward-looking layout of AI servers, technology and applications. 2020, the 7th National Conference on Cybersecurity and Informatization of Code further implies the need to comprehensively depend the construction of smart court and promote the trial systems and trial capacities. Part 2. Architecture design. The overall structure of the paper is divided into 4 steps. Step 1. We map dispute case to the date, information, knowledge, wisdom, and purpose to build DIKW+P content graph. Step 2. Through the interactive ontology, semantic co-creation, and reasoning of DIKW+P content graph among stakeholders, we will be able to obtain the DIKW+P cognition graph of stakeholders. Step 3. Through purpose-driven we combine DIKWP content graph and cognition graph to build DIKWP semantic graph. Step 4, we train the DIKWP semantic graph to find the target node, synthesify the purpose through the purpose-driven. We combine objective content with subjective cognition. We use the cognition of Sherlock Holmes as a prototype of dispute case to make a specific analysis of the holder of Baskerville case. We divided the content of the case test according to the part of speech, and we map it to date, information, logic, wisdom, and purpose to form DIKWP content graph. The paper takes Sherlock, the master, and stapled the criminal as the stakeholder, and constructs the corresponding DIKWP stakeholder graph. Traveling among the DIKW content and DIKWP stakeholder, and in integration the subjective and objective semantics to shorten cognitive and reasoning distance. Part 3, resource processing. For the mapping of content part, we use a sentence from the case description as an example, split according to the part of speech, and map specific referential meaning to date resource such as norms, numbers, times, and so on, including the mapping of sentence information to information resource such as verbs, adjective, and so on. We combine context semantic structure, date resource, and information resource to derive knowledge resource. We map WH beginning such as where, which, what, and so on to information that has a purpose. We have mapped the content of this sentence through an open source tools to form a syntactic tree of dependencies across the date and information. We map the case description content to date, information, logic, wisdom, and purpose separately according to the prevalence method. And here is the date connect graph. For the construction of cognition graph, Sherlock and Stapleton are modeling separately. We model the character's cognitive process for the case from their dialogue in the notes, and map them to date, information, logic, wisdom, and purpose to construct the corresponding cognition graph, which are given here. The red dashed portion indicates that Sherlock date connection graph contained stapled date cognition graph. Here is a mapping of textual content to information content graph, and Sherlock stapled information cognition graph. We store the knowledge graph in the form of the knowledge rules, and here is a logical relationship before and after. The knowledge rule we deduced by comparing date, information, resource, and context have unproven content, which can be from the knowledge cognitive semantic model when the content knowledge model can't handle them. Give here are knowledge content rule and the knowledge cognition rule for the two characters. We take the knowledge content rule as an example and get two knowledge rules, which are that a person has a difficulty birth and dies due to energy depletion with caused facial distortion and post-mortem proves that Charles has a long-term disease. Part 4. Purpose-driven processing. First, we formally defined the DIKWP content graph, cognition graph, and then formalize the description of the two main characters, Sherlock and Stapleton, for the case test. We formally defined the semantic DIKWP by means of the previous formal description and derive the difference between the Sherlock and Stapleton perception of the corresponding text homos. We train the semantic DIKWP graph for Sherlock and Stapleton use purpose-driven traverses and get the final resource. We take as input the purpose, who killed Charles Baskerville, and train Sherlock DIKWP content graph, DIKWP stakeholder graph for content homos to find the final node, secure Charles Baskerville dies. We take as input the purpose, who killed Charles Baskerville, and train Stapleton DIKWP content graph, DIKWP stakeholder graph for content homos to find the final node, secure Charles Baskerville dies. When the purpose is who killed Charles Baskerville, Sherlock can correctly deduce the murder, and the reason is because Sherlock completely deduced the murder steps crime process, that the Sherlock connection mode of homos is included in Stapleton cognitive mode. So Sherlock can find the murder. Part 5. Automation strategy. We propose two formal to construct a semantic DIKWP graph. The first way node are constructed in the form of the DID structure. We take the Cartesian product of date and information related to the content graph and the cognition graph, and then form a load after the Cartesian product with date, such as Charles is the director of the castle. A logic rule can be constructed between node and node. For example, the weather is Sunday cloud and it might rain later. The second way is a ID structure, which will get the new node after the relevant information in the content graph and the cognition graph is citizens with the information, and then citizens with the date. For example, a very Sherlock investigating a very difficult case. A node is false with the node and made from a logic rule with another from nodes. In terms of the optimization strategy, we can use the pooling by assuming that a question contained 4 purposes is seen as a purpose. Then semantic DIKW+P graph contained multiple combination of 4 purposes output in the form of output that are able to satisfy the purpose. When the purpose is to perform subdivision, then pooling operation can perform on some irrelevant nodes when the purpose is to combine individual operation may become unavailable for some unpredictable reason, such as not work problem. Then the combine from can improve this. We will provide a disjoint solution to improve the sameability. That's all. Thank you.